Yeah, I kind of would expect them to change it a bit, but they have been, especially Doublelift, you know, a bit stubborn in his choices for AD carries, so very well could continue here. And I don't think Jhin is bad by any means, but maybe not deserving as quite a high priority as he's previously been getting. I do like the Kassadin ban here, though, from Blue's side. I think that's the side where you do have the room to go for more of those specific counter pick bans to get them off the table, whereas, as you said, Zach's still pretty much permabanned. The other one that kind of goes along with the LeBlanc and Zach on red side is usually the Elise. Svenskeren did, at least in that Cloud9 game, show very decent Elise, so it's not just the Lee Sin, as everybody was kind of whittling it down and funneling him into this little box of, oh, he can only play Lee Sin, because he hadn't shown up on too much other things recently. But definitely made you pause as far as giving over the Elise. It is available, though.
Waiting to see what it's going to be onto this one. Waiting as time ticks down. And the Jhin's still going to be grabbed up.
There, #1 priority. So Doublelift gets his Jhin once again.
And of course we know this is always going to be a team-focused decision. They had been playing scrims the whole week long. Everyone is on the same page saying, yes, we think Jhin is the most valuable champion. This is not Doublelift telling Hansu, do what I say, give me Jhin every game.
And I do, like I said, I do think he's a very strong champion right now. I do like the Energizer builds on him. Super, super fast. It gives him a tremendous amount of kiting ability, not only because they added, you know, Warlord's little speed boost, but Jhin, it feels like he almost has Ghost on when you have that much Zeal items stacked up. Regardless, though, no Elise pick in the first round for either team. Even with the Zach and the Gragas banned here, it makes me think that one of them would rather wait around and grab a Rek'Sai or something like that.
Ooh, I like this duo by TSM, by the way. They banned away the Kassadin, one of the picks people like to play in the Cinder, but also the Tahm Kench alongside is another potential counter pick. Now, granted, Thresh has already been grabbed. There's nothing else coming in from that support role, but either way, Bjergsen going to have, I think, a pretty nice time going after targets here.
And the thing with Tahm Kench, really frequently picked into Thresh, obviously because you can eat him out of the hooks and can't counter that way. The problem is, a Kalista Thresh lanes can still focus Tahm Kench pretty easily. So you do have to worry about that, you know, counter damage early on, at least. And we shall see. Pobelter going to pick up the slightly weaker half of the matchup. You know, Syndra with her level 6 kill pressure, you always do have to be a little bit cautious. It's not an overwhelming Syndra-sided matchup, but I definitely would. And a lot of mid laners give the edge there over to the Syndra, especially if you have a ganky jungler like the Elise, which is still up. Only Lee Sin banned so far.
We'll see who the next ban ends up being there. Fiora, they're starting to drop off top lane bans. TSM, I think, are likely going to be forced to blind pick their top and don't want counter picks available.
Yeah, that could definitely be the case. I have to say, I really think you're dangerous if you're leaving up so many early game junglers. Both Rek'Sai and Elise, whichever one is paired with the Syndra, could really threaten that mid lane. So I guess the strategy for Immortals here,
I think it's Olaf the Elise counter in a certain sense because he can get through the cocoon.
It's decently. So I think that Immortals might be first picking in second round here the Elise and letting the Rek'Sai go over to TSM. I would assume that those are the two jugglers picked, as those have been the highest priority that are still available. We're obviously not counting Nunu. That's very recently has shown his head because neither of them have been willing to play it.
I'm just going to ban the Elise out, so pushing him down the tier list a little bit more. Rek'Sai probably getting the nod as the best tier list jungler right now, but if it fits the comp, maybe something else to go for. Immortals have their choices, and they can still blind top as well. Just, it feels like the way the bans were shaping out, that wasn't likely to be the case. 6 seconds to go, though. A lot of time being taken. Your TSM deliberated for a while on that Elise ban, and actually it will be the Rek'Sai getting the nod. The Queen of the Xerathai here for Xmithie.
Now, are you willing to blind pick something like Renekton here for TSM, having banned out the Fiora already, but you're not necessarily also checking off the Jace or these other kind of range matchups that can kind of poke him down? Those got a lot better with the Doran shield, so I feel like I am willing to blind pick Renekton in this scenario.
I'd potentially think J4 maybe over that. Now, Jarvan's not great in the Thresh because of the knockbacks, but I just feel like
I like Renekton more than J4 though, because then you're giving over the J4 to the other side.
That's unlikely. Or maybe
he
I
was gonna say he has been on that Kled pick though, or kick for quite a while.
Yeah, all right, Kled it is. So there's the fighter choice. We were both a little bit wrong, but the Renekton might come through to flame all the same. Haunter thinking he's pretty comfortable with his matchup, and one of the big things for a pro team is to look at your opponents, to understand what their priorities are, and even though there's 50 available top laners to pick, TSM gonna hope they can understand what Immortals would pick in this situation. They take their time to deliberate, and they say, Kled is our best blind. They're gonna go into Shen here onto this one. And of course, they grab Kha'Zix for themselves. So a very physical damage-heavy lineup. Bjergsen, the only mage on the roster, expecting Ninja Tabbies in a lot of places here for Immortals.
And yeah, well, I have to say, the first thing that jumps out at me is their bottom lane playstyle that we kind of went over in the intro. Super, super well set up with this composition. I mean, Rek'Sai can gank there early. Kalista Thresh has so much versatility. There's a tremendous amount of CC from there. And very clearly, Shen is one of the easiest to get down there from top lane. So
absolutely,
Immortals look like they're drafting into that same kind of bot lane centric style that we're used to seeing from them, where they create plays and they create them very quickly. And then once you get your bottom lane free to roam around, Kalista and Thresh are very good at chasing people down, looking for picks even in the mid game. So
yeah, the fact that you have a Kalista at all makes it so easy to be the Thresh. You normally want to run around and look for picks, but you can now face check brushes, look for wards, be like, oh, did I get caught? Press R, out they go. It's pretty much zero risk, a really high reward. Champ select is over. TSM and Immortals gonna do battle. TSM gonna close out week 5 early on here, as they already played against Cloud9 yesterday, but Immortals hoping to keep that single loss alive as they continue to tack on, win 7-1, the first place team, and they could get an even larger match lead over TSM if they could win this one here. Hoping to keep it forward with a bot lane focused style. Shen to the top lane, Kalista, Thresh do the battle down to the bot side as Cody-san has been having a pretty good 2017 so far. And Immortals hoping to stay in first place. Here we go with game 1.
actually pretty good representation from both sides here. Immortals have really been getting...
You say that.
Touche, touche. I was going to say that they had been gaining, representation with, all the success that they've seen recently, kind of climbing back up the standings. And it is kind of the story for all these players on the team as well. Long histories here for especially the ex-CLG members of Belter and Smithy. And back up.
Typical Kobe. TSM vs Immortals still brings up CLG.
Flame letting Hanzo know that he wants that MVP vote. He did a couple interviews as well, and really outstanding play last week that we saw from him as well. A lot of good individual plays from Flame. Hanzo is able to land another trap on him though. Yeah, but it kind of goes along with what we talked about, where Smithy has converted a lot of plays on the bottom side of the map. Flame has actually then been left to his own devices, not completely, but slightly more so than a lot of the other top laners, and he has been able to outplay 2v1s and kind of play his way out of poor situations. That's why he got a lot of recognition recently. All right, let's take a look at the Raptor starts for both of them. They'll each get a mid lane pull, decent for Orianna and Syndra. Both of them with those AoE ability starts.
And you gotta feel pretty good about getting Void Spike plus that. It feels so satisfying to have them all die out of the second Void Spike there, thanks to the Talisman. It's gonna be a slightly faster start here for Svenskarn, who's already off onto hitting his red buff here, and he's got about a 5-second lead over Smithy. We also noted that Hanzo put a defensive ward down in front of the team's blue buff, kind of right as he had to walk back to lane, so it makes sure that there's not going to be any cheeky jungle invades. There's really no easy way that Rek'Sai is going to spot that and go for the steal.
Early push here for the Immortals bottom lane, kind of as expected, into the Tahm Kench lane. Double lift on Jhin has been very good, though, at least still getting lane control, even though they didn't really convert it to a lot of mid-game power. And carrying for the late game, still has had that presence in lane that you expect. Meanwhile, the junglers are meeting up on the top side. Smithy went with just the Raptors red scuttle that's become so common with an experienced Quint. Has been fairly common for maybe 4 months or so now to get that early level 3, but not going to have any action because of it. Just continue on back to his blue side. They have all the possible ways of ganking top lane, by the way, warded as well through Scuttle and Flame's own ward over that wall. So Flame pushing up on Shen. There's the wards you can see on display there. Is fully protected and can very well keep this wave up.
And it's really worth pointing out, that ward is kind of only valuable if you've taken Scuttle, because otherwise they have the river open and your ward sees almost nothing. So nice coordination there. Because Smithy grabbed it, he's got a better ward now. Fighting the bot side, Battlecross has the rend on. Big crit comes out from Devilip, and it looks like TSM getting the better of that trade. Kobe, you were talking a little bit earlier this game about Devilip's Jhin plays yesterday, and Champs, like they showed the stats, and he has like a plus 10 CSD on average from that match against C9.
And that's something that we've been able to count on with Doublelift for pretty much his entire career, is dominating laning stats in the North American LCS. We keep having our eyes on these junglers though. They just passed in the blue or the bottom side jungle here, trying to fight over that Scuttle Crab, and the fight was won by Smithy. So Smithy has gained both of them, and they got a little bit of vision on each other. Spencer did get the earlier back off though, and he's got extra wards.
You can see the power of that duo right there. I really like, you saw it a little bit ago, about 5 seconds back, the tongue lash into crit to make sure Cody couldn't run away from the auto attack. Really nice coordination from that duo right here. Hanser about to dismount, is going to. Now he's got to rebuild Skarl's courage, but he should be able to without too much difficulty.
Yeah, and he's got a ward in the tri-bush, but that's not good enough versus a Rek'Sai. So this is kind of the scary period. You can tell he's feeling a bit rushed at the moment. He wants to quickly push that wave in, try and charge it up, and get out of there, because Rek'Sai could be coming up the river. You know, they're pinging out the warning pings right now, so it's not just Hunter worrying about it. Entire team cautious for him, as Smithy actually wasn't even going for it, but he'll be able to recall, or actually cancels it and sticks around for a little bit more dangerous play, but Smithy still farming, not moving in.
And not going to go for it. I really did like the idea. It felt like Hans was like, hey, Sven, where could Smithy be? And Sven's like, I got you. I've tracked the jungler. He's in one of these two camps. He's like, okay, I'm gonna be safe. I've got the wards and tri-brush. Sven now actually going to hope to track his opponent a bit more. Will he use the Scryer's Bloom to spot out Krugs?
Well, right there you gain the information, though, because you know that they respawn around 4.5 minutes because they knew that Smithy did start them. So now he knows that it was very recently cleared by Smithy, and yes, his initial pings were correct. So Smithy had just been on this side of the map, and that's kind of how you track junglers without perfect information. Right. You stack up previous information and then get a single ward in there, able to help both the top laner and the jungler out. Sven actually pretty happy to just go back to farming as well after using his tracker's knife.
Sven right now is a level down, of course. He's still waiting to get level 5. Like Smithy might go for a bit of an invade himself. Is now on a ward, 5 matched. Both can see each other, and Sven tried to hold still, but of course that ward's on.
Yep, and they are pretty much exactly even. Sven's a tiny bit ahead of experience because most of the Smithies came from the 2 Scuttles right now, but very marginal differences. Mostly about tracking right now.
Nice little taunt, little trade right here. Level 6 is in for Flame. Hans will get that soon enough. That wave should be enough for him. You can see the XP bar pretty much entirely full in the bottom left corner.
And we do like to go over mechanics during the lane phase, but we might have a dive on our hands, so I'll do it a little bit later, as Smithy might go for this.
Hans are only at 300 health left onto Skarl, controlled on that try, but here comes another taunt, and it's actually going to be a retreat. Yeah, they're not going to go for the play just yet. They force the dismount, and that's when you might think they can go for the dive now, and they might
bring around the Rosie, but now the minions are all dead.
Well, Hanser's still in a bit of a rough spot right here. The knocker could be had. Here comes the Shen ulti. He doesn't even go to his own lane. He's ganking himself. The flash is not going to land, but he got the slow. And it's first blood to flame as the team comes in from the top side.
Well, it could have been a little bit prettier, but they were able to get it, and they should also get the first turret gold. In exchange, TSM already on the Infernal Drake. They made the call very early on for Sven to just go take the objective rather than move over to that other side. So take another look here. Hunter was planning on running away, and they both had flash, but as soon as he sees the Shen ultimate, very clearly toast. Hunter almost, because Flame wasn't able to land a taunt afterwards, almost one more attack, depending on how much you're actually going to get from it. Able to remount there, but not able to do so. So first blood, first turret, both over to Immortals, and in exchange, pay for a little bit of late game power there. Yeah, with the Infernal.
And look at this, actually, Flame thinks he can defend the bot lane turret with a teleport. Problem is, there's 3 members around. The Kha'Zix is here. It's injured. Sven can't really dive. Nah, turret should fall. They're okay.
Yeah, but Syndra's, exactly. Syndra's coming over as well, so that was a bit ambitious with the teleport.
Yep.
And ends up going down anyway.
Well, I'm used to play with the guy. You can't really blame Flame for having ambition here. Yeah, thanks,
Name
buddy.
puns. Thought you hated those.
I recanted.
Okay.
They have to be clever enough. I decided that was clever enough to be a name pun that I would go for. Team down on the one side, Bombi Cinder on the other. Football clears out the mid lane. Small lead to Bjergsen, but not huge.
Now, I also really like touching on how the compositions are going to play out when we have these basically lane swap trades of the early turrets, because even though we're no longer in the level 1 lane swap meta, we have been seeing fairly frequent around the 7-minute mark, people making those big plays and going for the traded objectives, especially with the addition of Rift Herald, that becomes more viable to make those trades around the 10-minute mark. But this particular one, you're going to have the mid laners, obviously see them hover on the side of the mid lane where they've got all the deep wards, and whoever extends down to the deep line here without a turret is going to get TP'd on.
Here comes Kled. Suddenly he wants all the lane for himself. Goes for the charge. Olay pretty far. Gets the lantern, the flash to buy a bit more distance, but here's a Syndra. Not going to land a root, but they're going to go for the slow with the ulti coming across. And the alley-oop is in. They save each other. It cost them a single flash and they're out.
I mean, it cost them 2 flashes.
Okay, 2 flashes.
And it also cost them the ultimate. And it did look kind of neat. And we talked about the versatility of a Kalista Thresh bottom lane. But I'm still...
Kobe, it was a 2v5. Give me this one.
I'm tentative to say that was worth it.
For TSM, though?
No, for Immortals. Overextending down there in the bottom lane.
Bjergsen in a bad way, but here comes Sven. The cleanse going to get Football throughout for a bit more time, and here comes Xmithie the flash. He's got him, the R! He's got him, he's dead! Goodbye to Bjergsen! Xmithie dives him into the jungle. But they're still on the run, though. Ole around, he's going to get out. As long as he had vision, he had that one, and it happened.
Yeah, the Rek'Sai, as long as you have the damage on them as well, his E damage was canceled because Bjergsen was able to flash into Fog of War, but as soon as he gets around the corner.
Yeah, gets a nice little hit right there. And he watches, to be fair, Hanser was able to get back his lane in time. The reason I did think it was good for Immortals that prior play, though, was because they used TP, because Bjergsen roamed down, he loses, part of a wave and stuff.
Well, I'm going to say that, since they killed Bjergsen, that's exactly what they were planning on. A genius play to get another kill here for Xmithie.
I guess one thing I will point out is the fact that Bjergsen ran the other direction. He ran right once the Rek'Sai ult was cast, because you can dodge a Rek'Sai ult by building enough distance between where you were and when she lands.
Yeah.
And that distance is less forgiving if you're running back towards Rek'Sai.
Also, with the change, I found that you cannot do it with level 1 boots.
Yeah.
No matter how early you start running the other direction, if your target only has level 1 boots, you will hit your ultimate now, and it actually feels so much better for Rek'Sai. It definitely still is, people can use flash and dash and all that kind of stuff, which is a little bit annoying, but the improvements is why we've really seen so many more people really happy to play the champion again. And there's just so much more confident in that snowballing that she's kind of designed around.
And I'm glad that she's a warrior enchant jungler now. I just tend to...
Well,
I know there's some
because...
junglers I understand, but I do just like warrior enchant jungler. I think it's a fun play style to watch.
Let's set up this play, though, because they have no idea that IMT are coming.
Oh, the knockup onto one. Shen's going to arrive. They just want the Tom Kenshin to fish food, and they're going to go for that. Quick chunk, going to buy a bit of time and a double. It tries to pull him a bit farther away, and Double's able to flash to safety. But Rek'Sai is on the hunt, and here comes the Void Rush. Kill comes through, goes over to Flame, and now it's Cobalt from the backside, though, caught out. Shockwave misses. There's the rest of the damage up, but Hanser gets the kill credit. Bjergsen did the damage.
Counter 1 kill here for TSM, and it looks like it is going to be a trade as they try and push mid afterwards. IMT, meanwhile, on the bottom side, looking to increase the coverage here. Looks like they should be able to get it a little bit earlier, as they've already sent Flame up to try and stall, maybe.
Well, we're going to try. I mean, he's tried to stall with the bot lane before. And
he's trying again, but it doesn't seem like he'll be able to push him off or anything. Yeah.
Looks more like to be a trade of objectives. And hey, good the TSM getting that mid pressure.
Okay, back to your warrior enchant for Rek'Sai.
Yeah.
Never mind, we'll do this. Speaking of Rek'Sai, Xmithie in here with the Shen on his back. They go on to double lift while Olay and Cody's son were already stacking up the spears into the Tom Kench here, so it was an easy rend at the very end there. And that's the playstyle that we talked about with this composition. Playing off of the bottom lane, using the Shen to get in there. There's a ton of crowd control, and they could just play around Cody's son and Olay, which is what they've done for the majority of this split and really worked out effectively for them. Just constantly creating those plays centered around those guys.
And
okay.
So, Rek'Sai.
Rek'Sai, hard to... I've been checking, especially on the builds of all the Korean junglers for pro play in their solo queue accounts. Starting to see Cinderhulk actually taking over, but this is on live
13,
on 13,
super strong,
where it gets buffed. So currently still on this live patch for LCS 712, but it does a bit less damage and it does cost a bit more. So definitely see the warrior, but keep your eyes open for you know, the rise of Cinderhulk.
All right,
that into the Tiamat, the Titanic Hydra is probably, I will say, going to be the build that emerges later.
More so than Cleaver?
I think so, because that has been the kind of burst there with the Titanic, as well as your true damage E. Is what I mean. I watched a bit of the games, and they were solo queue games, so it's a bit different, and you want value burst more, but that has been with the rush.
Well, fight for an Infernal Drake. TSM wants their second. No Ren stacks really just yet. Cody's still looking for the fight. Smite gonna go over to Xmithy. Gets it away from Sven. Fight continues. Shockwave only out of the one, though. He's put the teammates into his belly. Flame gets the first kill, though. The spree for him. A trade back for Sven. And there we go. The Rek'Sai getting another for himself. Xmithy forced to run away with the damage coming across the... Oh, nicely assassinated. Void on Void crime. But he's gonna trade it back around. Now TSM only with 2 left alive. Scarl runs for the hills, and TSM hoping to do the same. Only 2 players left for both sides. Great stun comes in. They want to knock down Flame. They almost got him. One more spell. Not going to make it away. And he's regained his courage. Cody's son not long for the world. The Rend won't quite kill him. He's going into the turret. He dismounts and the kill comes through to Bjergsen. The ace delayed for TSM.
Oh, so I know we always talk about the solo laners for TSM, but this team fight, look, just watch Hunter and Bjergsen. They pretty much feel like they're on their own game plan here, and they've been just dumpstering Pobelter. They did it before in the river, they do it again. Bjergsen actually ults a little bit excessive damage there, but then all the stuns that Bjergsen lands afterwards. A really nice W into a double stun there onto the bottom lane, which gave Sven the space for him to flash over the wall, get his kill onto Smithy before he went down. But again, lands another stun here, won the ball that already existed, which is usually more difficult to work around since your opponents can counterplay as they already see it. And then Haunter, as you said, he flashes for the remount to be able to get the final kill here, setting it up for Bjergsen once again. And those guys working in tandem has really turned this one, for TSM. They've evened up the Infernal Drakes, they've evened up the gold. Now we just have to keep our eyes on the vision, because it's actually been more TSM favored. And we'll see if that really does matter, as Shen teleporting in onto the bottom lane doesn't really require any sort of vision setup, and it's more about tracking cooldowns.
Let's see if they can track it properly then if we go into this. A very close game here as Cody's son. Oh, still waiting for the Hurricane to come through. That's the big power spec you really, really want. Doublelift going for the very tried and true. There's basically the 2 options. It's with and without Youmu's. Going for the Infinity Edge into Energizer build. That's fine. It's a little bit less powerful early on. Very 4-shot reliant, but should be okay. Nice bit of damage there. Ole should still, I believe, have Flay, so no kill to be had. And that's just good play. Once again, the support, you toss the lantern, you walk away, you give your teammate the room to use you as an escape path. It means no damage.
Yeah, speaking of 80 carry builds and the Ghost Blade, for me, especially from jungler perspective, because we usually get our Ghost Blades a little bit later after jungle items. When I start to see 3 Tiamats, that's kind of the turning point for me. I'm like, I'm not really worth it. I'm not going to go for it just because of that. Yeah, just because of the early base armor that's on so many of the ones you're going to try. Oh!
He's forced to flash. Yeah, he's gone. I don't even think the ult even landed. Just the burst damage was there from Svenskarn, and then a little bit of help from Bjergsen now. And on the right-hand side of the map, but more of a trade, and you're seeing TSM start to win everywhere. They got the pick on the Pobelter through his flash. No summoner was used by TSM, and then Haunter winning 1v1 as well.
All right, Bjergsen lands another stun.
There's the root, there's the damage of it. One more shot, I'll do it. Xmithy falls away, just stays alive. They couldn't get him down. Now the turret, though, under fire.
They were too scared of tower aggro there. Nobody wanted to stay in tower aggro to finish it off. Bjergsen walked out, and Svenskarn unable to have the damage to finish him off as well. So Smithy walks out alive after that stun under the turret, which was pretty well set up to guarantee it. TSM, though, still get the turret afterwards, still get the objective.
I'd rather take the turret than the kill. Obviously, both were going to happen regardless, but it's going to be Grump going down for Hanser, and TSM now in control of this game, 900 up, and feels like they have all the tools they need. Rift Herald despawns in 115, and maybe they'll target it, maybe they won't. Looks like Immortals going to be the one to play for it.
Should be able to burn it down as well.
Yeah.
As you said, TSM were pushing out and everybody went for recall, so recall timings are an objective in themselves, you know, getting back to base to be able to purchase your items. They have to pay for it with the Rift Herald. Immortals already with all their, you know, outer turrets pretty well taken care of. It's just mid lane that they would probably use this Rift Herald on.
Well, we'll see if that turret can fall. As you mentioned, Immortals taken down bot lane and top lane tier 1s already, so mid would be the likely target unless something crazy happens. But it feels like Immortals don't have lane pressure anywhere. Hanser has been able to push in Flame. Bjergsen has gotten those several kills on a Pobo to now 5 now with a flat Magic Man build on the Syndra. I mean, you were hoping that Immortals could play through their bot lane with that Kalista Thresh, and hey, they still got farm, they've got some kills, but
after that last,
slow going.
Well, I mean, after that last team fight with TSM, having control of the map afterwards, having that deep vision, being the first to grab that territory, and a bunch of the gold to go spend it, they have been able to utilize that to continue to push up here onto Immortals. That being said, Kalista Ultimate is ready, Thresh is ready to go in there, Shockwave. Only last component for Exodia they're waiting on is the Stand United to be able to pull off that team fight.
We'll see if it's Exodia or a Blue Eyes White Dragon or what's going to come through here, but TSM, make sure they can withstand that. Here comes a nice little root attempt, but they're going to flash away. A knock-up there out of Bjergsen. Do they have the damage output? It's going to be the push in, and the Void Rush is not enough! The damage wasn't dealt. He couldn't get Bjergsen low enough. The actual Biofrost chomp didn't need to happen, but I believe Exhaust was an important part of that.
Oh my goodness, the Hex Drinker even not enough to save Smithy. He just purchased it to deal with this 5-kill Syndra, but now he's up to 6. Bjergsen lands another stun. He got the cleanse down on Pobelter. They get the kill on the jungler, opening up, you know, the possibility here for the neutral objective. Even though he went back to base, it looks like Immortals, without that perfect information.
Yeah, and there's no smite anyway. There's pretty much no chance you get this one to happen. So nice pickup by TSM. We've got to fight again.
Another one of those stuns. Able to get the cleanse out of Pobelter. And Smithy looking to finish it here.
I think he flashed exhausted, I think, in time. Because I think that was going to be enough damage otherwise.
It looked like it should have been enough execute damage because the ult does scale with that missing health.
Yeah.
And Biofrost, probably the savior there.
I'm sure someone's going to be able to tell us and watch that back a couple more times, but it really did look like the flash exhaust is what saved his life. So nice play out of Biofrost, or unnecessary, one of the two, who knows which. Either way, Bjergsen lives, and
either great play, flash exhausted him to save your life, or
that was useless.
You flash exhausted, wasted 2 summoners after.
It's one of the two. The thought counts, though.
Well, you have to find the frame where the damage of Rek'Sai Ultimate is actually done.
Yeah.
Regardless, though, Bjergsen is now 6-kill Syndra. This is the reality that we do live in. And everybody has to respect the damage coming out of him. That's why we're starting to see those magic defenses also built, in addition to the early Ninja Tabby that we had. The Banshee's Veil now for Pobelter, so even though he had to burn his cleanse, should be okay from the super long range stuns before it gets popped off. And Smithy's Hex Drinker is close to giving him survivability.
Yeah, and I want to talk about TSM's macro play now, because Immortals coming into this are the #1 team in North America, and they're only down 1,500. Most teams would probably not close this out against IMT, and the comeback would happen. TSM going to keep control, though, and I want to kind of start focusing on what they're doing to continue to outplay such a strong team.
Continue to use Hanser in the bottom side, pushing up the wave, and then you can see him, every time he pushes up the wave, rotates into the jungle, into the Fog of War, because they're denying Immortals vision. And that has really been the constant after winning that team fight, that TSM have been able to keep Immortals trapped up in their own side of the jungle. And you haven't really seen them venture far out.
Yeah.
Really trying to play around their point of power here. Syndra in the mid lane, pretty well protected.
They're going to summon the Rift Herald to go top side and slow push that, because it looks like they're going to be fighting over the bot side of the map a bit more. I think Smithy was mostly running out of time more than anything else and had to put it down somewhere.
Yeah, you will get a purple flash on your screen.
Yep.
A couple seconds before it times out. Just to let you know, drop it wherever you are. It's better just to drop it than not use it at all.
Yep.
Even if it only means 25 gold going over to Bjergsen, at least you took his time.
Yeah.
That is the strongest person on the enemy team, so now you get to go get some of the vision back. And they're trying to work as a team to clear out all these wards, but it's definitely a tedious process.
It definitely is. You can see that TSM aren't playing around top side as the Immortals have warded that jungle pretty well. It was TSM looking to roam towards the right, but when the Rift Herald will spawn, they have said, well, you know, we can't. We've got to control this. Bjergsen's on the wrong side of the map now.
Yeah.
And they'll wait for a few more minutes. Hanser again looking to push in on Flame. Has a 28 minion lead now. It's actually getting higher and higher. Hanser was not winning the early laning phase against Flame. He got first blooded, and he's now doing very well.
Yeah, people really underestimate the early lane phase of Shen, actually, especially because one of the little mechanic things we were going to talk about during the lane phase, but there was too much action, was Flame intelligently trading here with Shen, which is pretty common, but you save your Spirit's Refuge for the W activation of the lead. Here we go on the chase, though.
For the W. Here comes the knockup. They're going to look for a play on a Biofrost. The taunt should be there. Yes, it is. He's going to die for that. Nice pick up there by Immortals. Exodia has gotten 1 kill so far. Now Sven forced a flash against the wall. Thankfully able to buy a bit more distance with him, but the flash follow for Poelter. Shotgun going to force just a leap to get away, so a bad trade of resources there. Smithy hoping to land a Q. The Q does reveal. Didn't get that to happen. He could have ulted, but not going to be there. And now Hanser on the side. Going to find the bear trap for a bit of a stun. Lantern gets him out there.
All right, Immortals now, 5-man power play. Only 4 members of TSM trying to defend the turret, and they should not be able to do it.
Look at the damage still there. 5v4 shouldn't be easy for TSM, and Immortals, yes, are going to make it happen the game now within 400 gold.
We got to see it, the initiation from Immortals. They work so much better when they're the ones to be proactive, and they're the ones to start this off, get the pick onto the Tahm Kench, utilizing, or not even the Tahm Kench first. They pick someone else, have Tahm Kench come in to devour that person, then swap focus targets. TSM, though, working again diligently to control the vision around this top side.
Over the wall they go. They think there's a pick to be had right here. Nice double
Oh!
They're going to absolutely destroy him, TSM! What a blast cone, what a push, what a kill!
Oh my God, Bjergsen, time and time again, shows you why everyone so frequently bans the Syndra against him, just constantly dominating. He's played this before he even came to the North American LCS, and it's going to be a big part of this game. Baron at 6,000 health.
Well, like Smithy does not have flash, but he does have smite, and he can tunnel over the wall because he's Rek'Sai. 3,000 health. Here comes the attempted play. Gonna look for the Q. He sees Hanser. They're gonna wait for the time. Okay, they got to kill out of Smithy. Here comes the attempt. He gets it. He outsmites Svenskar, and he takes the Baron for Immortals. And all that they can do now is get one consolation prize, but Smithy walks away alive.
He does it again. Smithy just constantly stealing these big objectives.
Yeah.
Game after game after game.
He'll steal. Oh, go ahead.
What I wanted to do to set up, so he could easily have just, tunneled in there and just gone for the normal steal, right? But by getting the Prey Seeker onto a member of TSM before going in, you open up the possibility of using your invulnerability frames of your ultimate as well in there in case they stop damage, on the Baron and they're trying to delay and stuff. So he's always got the extra options in mind when he goes for these steals as well. Creative use. We saw it with the Kindred, a bunch of different champions. Anyways, here's the pick from Immortals. This was, again, Bjergsen and Hanser dominating. They blast cone over, get the quick double kill. But Smithy just reigns on their party. He goes for the Prey Seeker first to get the damage dealt, so it's a possibility of using his ultimate. Then tunnels in. The cooldown's very quick on it. All he does after he gets in there is use the true damage E in combination with his smite. Much like pretty much any other champion that does have true damage as a jungler. I want to combo that for a better chance of getting the Baron, and he does so. He didn't even have to use the untargetability there of his ultimate, but cooldown on his tunnel came up as well, so that's why he got out.
All right, well, under the replay, TSM took themselves a Cloud Drake, so that one's down, but of course it was traded for top lane tier 2. Immortals probably getting a bit more out of this one. Gold, of course, still close off the kills TSM had gotten for themselves. And we are going to be resetting the map once again. Okay, then now we've got 4 turrets to 4, and Baron Buff still on for 140 on this.
And that was set up to be, the game-breaking play. That was what was really going to create a difference here, was TSM had just got 2 big kills. It just got, priority on the Baron, but Smithy kind of puts a stop to it here. The Drakes are fairly close, even though TSM are controlling those and they have this really fed Syndra. that steal just bought Immortals so much time here in the game.
Yeah, it really did. The question is, does the scaling help them in terms of scaling into late game? Of course, obviously stealing a Baron always good. The question I just have is, how is the scaling going to be for both these comps regardless? And Smithy really itemizing against Bjergsen, and once again, 712 does have buffs to Adaptive Helm, right? So, oh no, that was 713 that buffed it. So Adaptive Helm is still trash this patch. The only way it'd be good if Bjergsen literally lands about an 8 or 9 sphere ultimate on Smithy. That is the only use case where it's better than a Spirit Visage.
Yeah.
And that's not going to happen.
Plus, Rek'Sai does have a tremendous amount of regeneration with her passive, so...
Right.
Yeah. Anyways, I think we've stated enough how much we hate Adaptive Helm.
But they keep doing it, so I have to keep telling them they're objectively wrong. There's actually no world where it's better, and I just want you guys to realize that. Gold is tied, though, and Baron going to time out in 30 seconds. Sven wants to steal away some Raptors, or sorry, some Wolves. Smithy wants one as well. Smite fight! And again, Smithy wins a battle nearly as big as the Baron fight.
Yeah, I concur. Dyrus might agree with you, maybe.
Yeah. Them Wolves are scary. Here comes the play, though. They're going to send in Thresh. Looks for double if gets hit. Not in range for the Rend, actually.
But you can see, they're still looking with the same game plan. Immortals have always been able to stick to that. Oh, actually, they're going to have to answer this split push. So maybe the Baron-empowered pressure isn't actually going to net them, you know, any tangible benefits here. Flame's going to help go back to answer Haunter.
It is interesting seeing Flame go back to a Sunfare Cape build, though. We haven't seen that item nearly as much. Again, he's got a physical damage laner, but the item disappeared for a lot of people. Early Stone Plate coming in, so it's a late finish on Titanic Hydra. I actually like the tankier build. It's working out well for him here. But he's going to finish Titanic next up, it looks like. Once again, in a bit of a tied game as we reset the lanes yet again. The Vision, as I check back through the map, TSM have 2 D4s to speak of. Immortals about 3 for themselves. The Vision certainly has been cleared out back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, a Baron still like that when you're down a bit is going to do that. Really good stall here from Immortals to be able to steal that one away and kind of stabilize so they can build up and prepare for the team fight. You see another Hex Drinker coming in, this one for Cody Sun as well. They're trying to deny all the primary targets of Bjergsen, because they know this is the carry member for TSM. He's so fed right now on the Syndra, and they're just trying to get any sort of defenses for their more squishy members to deal with it. Banshee's Veil and 2 Hex Drinkers on all the primary targets that Bjergsen will have.
Yeah, it's going to be a Black Cleaver out of Cody's.
There we go, though.
Ability is going to be Ole holding the front line, and the ulti is up, and he's going to pull him right back out. Bjergsen doesn't find a target. Out goes the Thresh, has the chance to lantern. No one needs it. It's going to be traded ult for ult. Haunter for Cody Suns.
Yeah, decent ult trade, except I don't think Ole needed to drop the box before he got ulted back out. Unless they were really looking to turn that one around, which, you know, maybe is up in the air and they were undecided if they really wanted to, but one extra minutia there.
Look at Ole running around the map, making sure his teammates are safe. Moby's, of course, really useful on Thresh because it enables his lantern plays a bit more. Runs over, makes sure that Flame's going to be fine, and there's no gank to be had for Svenskaren.
Taxi Man, Ole.
Yep.
Taxi Thresh on the way.
Is it Taxi or Uber? I feel like they're taking over a bit more.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I saw, I'm going to take a non sequitur here. I saw a great image the other day, which was 20 years ago. It was don't meet strangers off the internet and don't get a stranger's car. And now it's call a stranger from the internet and get into their car. Not my joke, but still hilarious.
I could tell it was not your joke.
It was actually funny.
Got a solid laugh there.
I've heard that joke a million times, by the way. Oh, freak, you're not funny. Other jokes are better than yours. Wow, you're original. See, that's my own.
All right, let's see if they can rotate down to the bottom for the red steal. Not going to be the case. Immortals still, they just want to use the same CC combo that we've seen. The ultimate back up here from Kalista, so it's going to be pretty much the same case. Looking for the Thresh initiation.
Here comes
Stand United, ready!
Dave Slowdick Smithy, the root's there, he can't get the lantern! He gets the shield, he flashed away, but he can't take the lantern! He climbs over the wall, there's going to stay alive, but he's unforced to flash. Tunnels, oh, Smithy, he almost killed himself!
Yeah, that could have been...
Oh, he almost killed himself again! He's out of there. I thought he was in range, I'm sorry. He knows better than that, though. He's better player than I am. All right, we're good, no kills.
Freak is just kind of arms flailing up here, by the way. He's very concerned.
It's a close game.
It definitely is a close game, and that was a close call. It was definitely an unnecessary risk to go back into the range.
Oh, he rooted him. He got a lantern, though. Can he get to safety? He's trying. Flame running out of health, and Bjergsen picks him off.
Nobody can click these lanterns. TSM keep putting wards down on top of it, and I guess they're unable to click around him.
He's going to knock that one down, and here comes a play towards the Baron. Flame dead for 40 seconds.
Bjergsen's done.
And they pull back Ole, one more ult down. They don't want to go for the smite fight yet again. A big slow comes out from Svenskaren, though. Shockwave pulls one back, though Hunter can't get him with the stone plate on. Locket pop, doesn't block a lot of damage. We're going to Smithy, no kill just yet, but the ulti comes across, and he is legendary. The shot down on a Cody's son. That kill is there. Now the chase on Ole, who's been slowed, isolated. Hook's not going to land. Just the 2 kills.
TSM getting the picks, though, and it's not just 2 kills. It's control over all the wards around Baron. And maybe they'll start it up. They do have to worry about Stand United, though, because Flame's timer's almost up. Yep. And it could be still another 4v5. Hunter actually
looking for a friend.
Trade.
2,000 health left in this one. 3K going back and forth, looking for what Xmithy might be. Ole is going to be down for the first one. So the chase on towards Xmithy. He does not have vision in the pit. But they will not give him the chance to go for a smite. The damage is there first, and now they can secure the Baron. TSM going to grab this one much better play than last time. TSM grabs it.
All right, they are able to just stop all DPS. They keep calm, secure the Baron first, and now they have a tremendous amount of pressure to work with. And Infernal Drake is up, so you can just grab that one before using the Baron buff to go finish off the last secondary turret there.
What a well-played team fight, though. That setup in complete fog of war, the opening pick, and then constantly using the 5v4 to get one, and then one, and then one, and then finally the Baron's going down with no smite left. It was such a well-played situation by TSM.
That's why you are constantly rewarded for your control of the vision.
Yeah.
And you keep bringing it up every time, able to get meaningful rewards this time around as TSM get their pick off, multiple objectives off of it, and now are poised to go take the rest of the base.
Smithy accidentally sold his enchant for a second and undid it and got it back in there. I saw his jungle smite pop up on the item screen.
I mean, that's fine. You can do that.
Yeah, it's not actually a problem. He's got his stone plate now, so the extra defenses are there. Cleaver's done. Maul of Immortals next up for Cody's son. You saw how much damage he took from Bjergsen earlier. Here comes the attempt. The attempt on his life, looking to assassinate. The shot's coming through. Ole blocked the shot. Finally does. It's the 4th one here. But still the poke is in. There's no Banshee Veil left now for Poe out there. Smithy took a lantern across the wall and goes right back in 2 seconds later. Here comes Hans in the side waves, though. He's going to find Poe Belzer. The damage is there. One more shot to get him. The shot might buy some time, but it's not going to buy enough. He's gone. But trade kill, though, as Cody's takes out the Syndra. He's cutting back his life, so he's staying alive. And the kill's coming through for Immortals. They picked up 2, and Cody's son, the tanky build comes in. They pop the Guardian Angel.
They're diving Nexus turrets here, and TSM do give up 2 kills. They still get the inhibitor, but
Biofrost saves.
Whew, they get run out.
Still a nice fight. I mean, yes, losing the inhibitor, but +1 in kills, buying a bit more time against Baron buff Immortals, holding on a little bit longer.
Yeah, TSM gave up an extra kill there in the dive. All right, look at the snares here, and they do go really deep with Hanser, staying on Pro Belter, and then they dive in. Big counter kill here is Ole. Looks like he nails Bjergsen
the hook
with the hook right out of the taunt, allowing Cody's son there get his rend off, and then Cody's son kites Hanser under the turrets, hopping back on Kalista with no extra dash, and they're able to just devour him out of that play.
Yep.
Biofrost there.
Very close stuff right there, and ended up being a little nice one. So TSM sitting on this 3,000 gold lead still in Baron buffs on half the team. And you see that assortment of elemental drakes in their inventory as well, gives them that consistent power throughout the game. See if they can get more to happen as he's going to go into Bjergsen Syndra. 10 and 2. He's got so many kills. He's playing so well in this game right now, and the shielding is getting better and better for Biofrost. Ruby Sightstone to face the mountain plus Locket, right? Reduced active item cooldowns. It's why it's kind of, we're seeing so much of this Ruby Sightstone for the pro tank players.
And it's that plus the Face of the Mountain. Face of the Mountain also a very big, targeted shield here for the probably Bjergsen.
Sure.
As he should be the focus early on from Immortals. Syndra has, everybody likes to talk about her ultimate, but she has very good in-fight DPS as well, even outside of the cooldown of her ultimate.
Big crit onto that turret. Down to half HP right here as TSM continues the push. Gets another rapid fire cannon trigger and down to 1/4. One more shot. That turret's going to be gone. Mid lane is open. Not going to get the root on Ole just yet. Flame waiting around on the wings. Bjergsen building up spheres. And then waiting to play the poke game. Gets a bit of a reveal onto its Smithy. TSM playing it patiently for now. Baron buff is timed out. They're more powerful, but it's not free. It's still only a 4,000 gold difference. The Immortals, we have seen them fight back from leads like this before, but TSM are certainly in control. 8-4 now in turrets.
See, that overdive definitely cost them as far as their Baron power play. Even though they still accomplished the goal of getting the inhibitor down, you can see the pressure that it is creating on Immortals here.
The Sun. Yeah, of course, you know that's just a quick ult for Cody's Sun. No overcommit there. Nothing for the turret just yet, but it's very, very low. 2 more shots, 1 more for Double. Gonna take it down. Here comes the ult. They want the play on a Pobalt. He's been slowed. Has the lantern, comes down. These shots aren't gonna be much damage. That 4th crit won't mean almost anything. He's gonna fire on a flame for 360 damage. Knock up there on the backline. They found Bjergsen. They found some damage, but quickly saved by the Biofrost Tom Kent. Down to the backline they go. The taunt is in. They don't quite have the damage. And Svenskar is still cutting back and forth. Pobalts are cutting away from Hans. Are gonna stay alive, but the first kill comes through. 650 is gone. Another shield comes in, look for the hook. They're gonna look to take down Hanser, and they can't. Biofrost continues to save everybody. That bank account is massive. He's saving everything. And making it happen now. Top lane inhibitor getting low. Biofrost finish it off. Double it. Rest of the team gonna knock down 1 more shot. A big crit on Cody's Sun. They're not gonna get the root, but he throws in a teammate for a big knock-up. Do they have the play though? There's no shotgun to be had. And the kills aren't gonna come through. Inflame though will in the backside though. She managed to get up on the Hanser. Now looking for Bjergsen, but stunned up. And the damage should be there here for Double. The crit will almost kill. It's close. He's gonna land the root, but he's got to reload still, and he's able to get away with it.
All right, IMT gonna have to defend Nexus turrets here as Svenskar slips over.
He's out of mana though. 1 more shot and Cody's Sun does him in.
Base left in ruins after that though. TSM should be able to return to the scene of the crime pretty shortly. All right, so Double Lip, he opens up. They've already got Smithy down at half life, and the Rek'Sai tries to go in for the flash knockup with Shen on top of him. Doesn't really get the enough execute here as the locket came out just in time, so they never finished off Svenskar, and they're able to just turn around here for TSM onto the front line. Meanwhile, Hanser there pretty much tanks up 98% of his life before Biofrost then devours him out and buys a tremendous amount of time for the team.
And Hanser is full of defensive and deceptive tank stack. He's got the giant Steric shield now, which scales like massively on bonus health. He's got that Stone Plate. He's got even Guardian Angel. And even when all comes down to it, Biofrost can also devour him, put on his own shield. So it's frustratingly hard to kill off Hanser, and they've only done it twice so far this game. 11 assists as well. He has been great in the front line, actually. Highest participation on his team, Hanser. Bit of an unsung hero this game, doing very well.
He was definitely, we were singing his praises. Or at least I was. In the
he didn't sing enough.
Him and Bjergsen.
He needed another verse.
I'm not a very good singer.
He needs a whole album, not just one song, Kobe.
All right, well, this album is titled, You Have Super Minions on Your Nexus Turrets. What you gonna do?
When they come for you into your base, here comes the attack forward. He's gonna bring in Double It, and they got the movement speed, and there's nothing to do. No one even on the screen. TSM take down the base. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna win game 1, TSM. This song titled Scarl as he charges the team in. The ultimates come through. TSM happy about the fact that they're bouncing back from that loss to Cloud9 yesterday. And it was a fun one, honestly. It was a dynamic early game, plenty of kills. That top lane first blood was very well played by Immortals, though interesting, but it was well enough played. They got the kill on the flame. And then TSM just, I think, did a really, really great job at winning team fights.
Yeah, but even before the team fights, right? TSM playing around the Syndra, around Bjergsen, who is getting fed, and they create so many kills, allowing him to get. He had the biggest gold difference, player to player in the entire game. Ends over 5,000 gold above Pobelter here, and the Syndra ultimate guaranteeing a kill in pretty much every single engage that they had after the early laning phase was definitely critical, especially as far as those stuns he landed in the early team fight.
Absolutely the case. He was absolutely massive. I got to give all kinds of praise to Bjergsen for sure. Hanser also put in great work as well, over 500 damage per minute on the Kled. Highest KP on his team. He was part of the game-winning play as well, right? That people see the Kled ultimate, or the Yeah, the Cloud ultimate, and like, yeah, he charges in the front line, but he gives everyone a crap ton of movement speed, and so they get to all charge at the mid lane really, really quickly, make sure they reach that in time, because it was a nice setup, though, right? The shot call had to be, hey, make them come at us at Drake, and then just everyone ult into mid lane and win the game, and it took them 3 seconds to finalize that.
Yeah, I mean,
nice.
at that point, all the work
You're like
done.
going to win regardless.
But it's still clean, right?
Yeah.
We've seen sloppier ends to games like
All
this.
right, well, let's take a look back at the replay 14 minutes into the game where TSM get this team fight that we keep talking about here. And this is the 2 solo laners is what we were looking at, but during that time where the 2 solo laners are taking down Belter and then they are circling back around and taking all the threat out, Biofrost gets off the Devour here. They delay enough time for the rest of the squad that then Bjergsen's able to land that double stun. Haunter's able to chase down. Even though Sven Skaran flashes over and dies, he still got the kill on Smithy before he went down, which allows the finish here of the 2 versus 2. And Haunter makes the call, hey, I flash also. Bjergsen's stun allows him to get in there, remounts, and charges in for the extra kill here on Cody's son, who has no more summoners left.
Yep, absolute praise to Haunter there for being the frontliner, for being so tanky, getting plenty of damage down as well. And he basically soloed Belter in that fight. He did 85% of his health bar, and then Bjergsen showed up and landed 1 spell on him to make that one get finalized. And you can see the gold going up and down and up and down. Like, Immortals really had a chance there. Off the Baron steal 30 minutes in, they had another chance, but TSM just playing the mid game better.
Yeah, if you recall, it was Immortals again. They're playing off crowd control heavy bottom lane. You know, Shen stand united down there. They were able to get an early lead by creating some of these picks in the skirmishes and pretty successful at them. But then again, TSM around Bjergsen, around Haunter, that team fight was basically the rise of TSM's part of the graph, only to be stolen away there with that good smite from Smithy.
A couple of good smites from him, unfortunately, wasn't enough to win the game. So now we've got game 2 of Immortals and TSM coming up after the break. Before we head to commercial, though, we've got Sneaky talking about his favorite virtuoso in this episode of Pocket Picks.